like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've got a million dollars just like this. So let's get down to business.
How's it going, guys and gals? It's Corazon coming at you with another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to create a NCS or no copyright sounds audio visualizer inside of Apple Motion. Keep in mind that the creators of this audio visualizer probably used Adobe After Effects. So this is going to be a similar representation of that audio visualizer, but it won't be an exact copy. I also wanted to mention that I am on the freelancing website Fiverr.com. So I'll leave a link to that website down below. I will also leave an animation right here to show how you can access my gig. But I'm going to be selling animation and motion graphic services to you guys. So tutorials like this one, I can actually create a audio visualizer like this one just for you guys, just you know, or custom ones, or even I can even send you guys the project files as well. But just keep that in mind, it will be for an incentive, it will be for monetary gain. So just keep that in mind, it will be, you would have to pay for this. So just keep that in mind, guys. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Let's actually set the preset to broadcast HD 1080p. Let's set the frame rate to 29.97 FPS NTSC. So let's set the duration to 30 seconds. So for my case, I'm using the Bad Business again, the Tiesto cover that I created. And I just like using it because it has punchy bass sounds. It's a slap house kind of, you know, audio file song. So that's why I use it, because it's a little bit easier to work with. And right here are the minutes, right here are the hours, and right here are the frames, just so you know. I also recommend that you use timecoding for audio files, for audio visualizers, just because it's a little bit easier instead of having to try to calculate the seconds, and most definitely the frames. So yeah, you don't want to calculate, you know, every time how many seconds there are in like 2 minutes and 45 seconds, or 3 minutes, or even, you know, if you're like Deadmau5, 10 minutes and 45 seconds or whatever, like strobe and stuff like that. But just wanted to make sure that you'd use time coding for, I mean, that's my personal preference, but it's a little bit easier because, you know, they're just, you know, laid out right there for you, the minutes, the seconds. So just keep that in mind, guys. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Let's open up the project. Let us rescale this so that it fits to the actual screen. So let us do something like this. Let's actually import the audio first, like we always do. We are already in the Bad Business, which is convenient. Let us import the Bad Business, the 6 version. Let us keep in mind that I'm not editing this in the audio timeline. I'm actually editing it above. We can actually do this as well. If we go underneath the actual display, we can actually edit the audio as well. But I'm in the audio timeline just so you can see the visual of what I'm doing right now. But we can do the exact same thing that we do in the audio timeline as well, but just up here. So let's hear how this sounds. Let's press I on the keyboard real quick.
So let's get down to business.
Okay, let us cut this off. Let us do something like this. Let us press I on the keyboard. Let's press O on the keyboard over here. And let us play how this sounds.
Let's get down to business.
All right, sounds good. Let us uncheck this. We can also uncheck it right here in the audio tab. This just mutes the audio file just so we can focus on the graphics right now, the animation, instead of having that distracting us. So let us now create a circle, guys. We should go into the video timeline though. So let's exit out of the audio timeline. Let's create a circle. Let's actually put this to fit instead of 100%, at least for me. So what we need to do is actually press Option Shift and then hold it down, or drag it rather, so that it forms a symmetrical circle. And what we need to do is actually go to Inspector, go to Properties, and let's actually reset parameter so that it goes to the dead center. What we need to do now is edit this. So I think that's a pretty good size. We can actually rescale it to be, so Option Shift again, rescale it. Actually, no, that's a good size because the snapping, you can see the snapping, the yellow lines. That means that it's snapping into place at a proportional size to the actual display. So that's what I like to see. So keep in mind that you get these yellow snapping things, like for example these lines that also pop into place into the dead center, but we can just do reset parameter right there as well. You get to those lines by pressing N on the keyboard. So I just turned it off, press it again, and you turn it back on. So as you can see, if I press it again, it turns off the ends, or I mean not the ends, the snapping rather. Press the N tool back on, or the shortcut rather, and it turns on those snapping tools, which is very convenient. But sometimes even if you do snap it to the dead center like just now, it doesn't align perfectly to the center. So just keep that in mind. You would have to reset the parameter to be dead center. So that's good to know. Okay, so let's actually label this outline, the group, and let's label this circle outer, or outer circle. Right now, let's just, yeah, outer circle. Let's expand this just so we see what we're doing. Now we need to actually Command D this. So we have a circle copy above the outer circle. So that means that outer circle, the one that we just labeled, we have a copy above it. And we want to label this one circle inner, okay? Or inner circle. Okay. So what we need to do now is rescale this. So let's actually do the fill of inner circle to be a dark bluish, something like that. That's good. Let us Option Shift and then drag it down like so, something like that. Looks pretty good. Let's do that now. So what we need to do is actually go to outer circle. Let's actually create a mask. So mask of outer circle. So let's do Shift Command M for mask. Keep in mind that you're gonna have to have this selected, and I was kind of spending some time figuring this out because there's no like shortcut, but you can see that the image mask is not able to be viewed if we don't have this little button selected right here. The same is true with the actual with the audio parameters, the parameter behaviors rather, show and hide behaviors, show and hide masks. So these buttons are very important if you want to see the actual mask, if you want to see the actual parameter behaviors, just so you know. Okay, so what we need to do is actually drop the inner circle inside of the outer circle mask. So let's do that right now. So we're dragging the inner circle right here, this one, inside of the image mask of outer circle. Okay, so let's do that. So now what we need to do is actually invert mask right here. So now we have something like this. That's what we know. That's what we want. Now we need to go to inner circle. Go to the HUD actually. Let's go to the HUD real quick. Let's actually edit the curvature to be about, let's see. Let's go to 60. Yeah, 60% looks good in my personal opinion. At least for my case. I like to have smaller, sections right here, and then this bulging section right here. It kind of looks like the NCS look as well. So that's why I'm doing it like this. At least the outline rather. That's what we're doing right now. So what we need to do is actually go into inner circle. Let's go to properties. Let's actually reset parameter so it's dead center. Let's actually go to outer circle to see if it's dead center. It is, so we're good. Let us actually rotate the inner circle to be at -45 degrees, something like so. That looks pretty good in my personal opinion. Now what we need to do is we can actually set the outer circle to be, that's going to be the outline, right? The outer circle is our outline. But what we need to do is actually, in my personal opinion, I like to have the shape to be this kind of lavender bluish because it goes with some other parameters that I'm going to, or some other kinds of replicators I'm going to be adding in just a few minutes. So something like this looks nice. And we can always edit the colors of the other ones as well, but I just like to have it like this. I like this lavender blue, it looks nice. Okay, so what we need to do is actually go to behaviors. Let's go into shape. Let's add a randomized shape behavior, add, inside of the inner circle layer. What we need to do is actually set this to amount to 20. Let's set the frequency to 1. Let's set noisiness to 0. And what we're gonna be doing is actually mapping frequency and noisiness to the actual audio. Okay, so let's actually do frequency first. So let's add parameter behavior audio. Let's map it to the bad business. Amplitude is fine. Base for the graph range, do 60 Hertz, because again, the audible hearing range for the human ear at least is 20 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz. I don't know why they have 11 Hertz there, but I guess for people who, I don't know, who use sonar. Okay, so, or whale sounds. Okay, so what we need to do is actually set the frequency to 0.5. Actually, we should set it. We should leave it to 1 for now. Let's leave it at 1 right now. Set the peaks to smooth, I would say. We'll see how it looks in just a few minutes. So let's actually label this audio frequency so we know what we're dealing with. So it labels it up here as well. That's what we're editing right now. So we can see behaviors, randomized shape, apply to frequency right here. So just keep that in mind. Now what we need to do is actually go to inner circle again. Let us, randomized shape rather. This section right here, you won't be able to see it because it will cut off underneath the scaling of this of my recording of the screen. But what we can do is actually do the same thing. We just need to add parameter behavior. So go click in this drop down arrow, go to add parameter behavior, go to audio, add parameter behavior rather, and we need to do the bad business again. Let's set the graph range to base 60 Hertz and 200 Hertz, and let's set the scale to 0.1. I think the peaks are smooth for the actual, so let's label this audio noisiness. So we have audio noisiness and audio frequency. Okay, so just so you know, it's actually let's actually put the audio on so we can hear what we can see what we're dealing with.
Let's get down to business. One more night together.
Okay, so what we actually do is go to randomize shape real quick. Let's do apply mode, add and subtract, and then points to tangents, and that's what we need to do. And let's see how this looks now.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
All right, that looks pretty good in my personal opinion. Let's actually minimize outline right now. So let's let's click on outline. So we minimized it so we're not confusing other layers inside of outline, the outline group. Let's actually select outline. Let's go to scale. Let's see if, yeah, there we go. That's what we want. So let's go to add parameter behavior audio. Let's go to the bad business. Let's go to base. Let's go to 60 Hertz, 200 Hertz, and let's see how that looks.
Let's get down to business. One more night together. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
Looks pretty good. Okay, so let's now mute audio right now. Let us minimize this. Let's actually now we can do the fun part, guys. I mean, that was fun too, but it was a little bit tedious. What we can do is actually add replicators now. So let's go to replicators. Again, we are in the icon view mode instead of the list view mode. This is the list view mode. That's the default view mode, which I don't think should be the case because most people have, I would prefer the icon view mode because we can see what we're looking at better. So in terms of the effects, so let's go to replicators and let's actually scroll down until we find, let's do the sphere first. Let's put this underneath outline. So actually, before we do anything, let's lock outline so we don't accidentally put the sphere replicator inside of the outline group. So let's lock it, the outline group, into place. This group can be labeled Reactive Lines. And then what we can do is actually into the sphere. Let's see what we're doing. Sequence replicator, that's what we're doing. We can actually do the, okay, so let's actually do the traversal to custom, and let's do the location to add parameter behavior like we've done in the past, and let's set it to the bad business, base 60 Hertz, 200 Hertz, okay, let's see how it looks with the audio.
Let's get down to business.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Obviously we need to rescale it so that it matches the, it matches the actual, so let's actually go to where the, okay, that's how big the actual outline is. What we need to do is at least when it's at its lowest position or lowest scale position. So let's, or at 100% rather. So let's actually put this up like so that it's something like that. And what we can do is actually edit, go into layers real quick. Let's keep the bad business on for now. Circle, not circle, let's go to sphere. Let's go to scale. Okay, yeah, that's what we need. So I think that 148 is fine, at least for my computer. Add parameter behavior audio. Let's do to the bad business, base 60 Hertz, 200 Hertz, and let's see how that looks.
Let's get down to business. One more night together.
Okay, that's a little bit too jittery in my personal opinion. So let's actually audio location. Let's be a little bit more specific. Location. This is at the sequence replicator. This is audio scale. Okay. Sphere sequence replicator. Okay, what we need to do now is actually do a little bit of aesthetics now. Or yeah, I was actually going to do something else, which is editing the, let's see, location. Yeah, location. Let's set that to 0.5 actually for the scale of the audio location. Let's see how that looks now.
Let's get down to business.
That looks less jittery. I like that more. Let's actually set the, it is a lighter blue, the actual the reactive lines, or the sphere rather. It's a lighter blue, so let's actually go to circle. So go to shape, actually properties, no, shape, fill. No, actually, let's outline. Show the outline. Let's select. Let's go to this, and then let's select this kind of shade of blue. That looks better. A little bit more consistent. Now we can do is actually properties. Actually, okay, shape, basic shape. Let's actually edit that to be. Oops, did not mean to do that. Let's go to abstract. Let's go to dash small. Something like this.
Let's get down.
Let's actually edit the actual circle one. Let's go there. Okay, width. That's what we need. Let's set that to 10. Something like so.
Let's get down to business. One more night together.
Yes, it looks pretty good already. Now what we can do is actually add something else, which is the disco ball. This adds a little bit more texture to it as well. Let's put that underneath. Oops, let's actually, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's close reactive lines. I forgot to do that. So it doesn't go into the reactive lines group. It creates a new group. Let's label this particles. I know it's a replicator, but I'm just labeling it particles because it will look like particles. So now what we need to do is actually go into disco ball. And this one we're not going to map to the audio. We're just going to edit the columns, rows, something like so. Let's actually go to scale. Let's scale it down about 35%, like so. Let's go to the actual particles group, and let's actually bring the scale up to, let's actually do about 145. Looks good. Something like, all right, let's see. Okay, so actually not 145. Let's see. Okay, okay, that's the lowest it goes to. So let's actually set it to lowest, like 120. Let's see what 135 looks like. That looks pretty good. Okay, so let's actually, okay, we forgot to do something, which is adding all this to the end of the project. So let's do that now. Oops. I don't know why it's not selecting this either.
Let's get down to business. One more night.
Okay, so what we need to do is actually, what I want to do is actually edit the really quick. We're going to go back to particles to edit something. What we need to do is actually go to reactive lines. Let's go to library, inspector. Let's unlock it. Let's actually put down the scale. Actually, I think it's on circle. Let's see. Maybe it's sphere. Yeah, it's sphere. Okay, so let's actually edit the sphere to be at the lowest point. I actually want it to be a little bit lower. So let's actually do Option Shift so that it's a little bit lower than the outline. So it's a little bit lower than the outline.
Let's get down to business.
It already looks pretty good in and of itself right now. But what I actually want to do is edit the scale of the disco ball. So let's actually lock reactive lines. Let's go to particles. It's already unlocked. It's right here. Let's go to disco ball. Let's actually go to, let's see what scale does. I think it's scale, yeah. So we need to actually map this to the audio as well. So let's add parameter behavior audio. Let's set this to the bad business, base 60, 200.
Let's get down to business. One more now.
Okay, so for some reason, this is starting a little bit. Let's set the scale to 100. Something like so.
Let's get down to business. One more now.
Okay, so now what we need to do is actually edit the, I think it's replicator cell. We go into rectangle replicator cell. Let's set the show object as points. That looks a little bit better in my personal opinion. Point size, I believe 2 looks good.
Let's get down to business. One more now together.
Alrighty guys, well, let's see. Okay, for some reason this one isn't wanting to move. That's because it's locked. Duh, it's locked. So let's actually unlock. So let's lock particles. Let's unlock reactive lines. Let's actually edit this so that it is like so that it is like that, and we can see this a little bit better if we zoom in, and we can play it from the very beginning, guys.
Let's get down to business. One more now together. Breathe out a million nights just like this.
Let's actually for some reason the spheres are out of sync, so let's actually Command R this real quick. That renders everything out, so let's see if this works now.
Let's get down to business. One more now together. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Do one more now together. We've got a million nights just like that.
Okay, I kind of don't like that the sphere is actually going above that line. Excuse me. But that is personal preference. If you like that, you can do that. Okay guys, so I figured out the problem. It was actually, you just have to, remove, what I did is I removed the audio scale for the sphere in the reactive lines group. And I figured out that it's just, sometimes motion can't process that much stuff, but I guess, yeah, just delete the audio scale and then redo it. But that's what I did. And what we need to do is actually set the scale. Let's set it to 140, something like that, so that it looks fairly nice, like fairly flush with the other outline. Something like that. Yeah. So scale to 140. Also, I think this depends on your display, like if you have an 180p or 4K display, but I'm not totally sure, guys. It probably doesn't, but the scale just shouldn't, but maybe the size does. Okay, so let's actually add parameter behavior audio again. Let's do the bad business. Let's set the graph range to base 60 Hertz for low frequency, 200 Hertz for high frequency, and let's see how this looks from the beginning, because it should look good now. It's just that I didn't like how it was delayed. Oops. Let's do fit, and it was delayed, so I don't know what I guess it was just a glitch.
Let's get down to business. One more now together. Breathe out a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Do one more now together. We've got a million nights just like
Alrighty. Let's actually go to, oops, I forgot, I pressed down the keyboard for some reason. Let's actually label this to the audio that we just did to audio scale so that we are organized. Let's close down this. And yeah, we should be good, guys. Again, guys, I'm on Fiverr.com, which is a freelancing website. So if you want services like this one, that I create an audio visualizer for you guys, if you are just short on time or whatever, and you just need something quick, I'm on that website for photo animation, so services as well. But for now, I'm going to be doing motion graphics and animation instead of motion, Apple Motion. And yeah, so just let me know in the comments down below if you like this video, or or send me a DM or a message. Anyways, hopefully you found this video helpful, guys, and have a good day. Peace.
Bye, have a great time.